Hey everyone, I am Scoriox. This video is going to be as short and simple as possible to explain the concept of revenue distribution and how it fits into Illuvium. For the sake of this video, I will be using the ILV token, Ethereum, and USD as metrics, keeping in mind the end goals will focus on USD. In simple terms, revenue distribution means that any money spent inside the Illuvium metaverse will be split among all staking token holders. A good way of thinking about this is in the context of another video game, say League of Legends. Anytime you would do an action that would give money to the developer or publisher, for example buying a skin or a champion, and this developer is Riot Games, it would instead be given to all of its staking token holders, or in the traditional financial system, its shareholders. Now let's talk about this in the context of Illuvium. I will strictly discuss potential figures in terms of its flagship title. As a disclaimer, many of these figures will be arbitrary and made up as generous assumptions. The purpose of this video will focus on explaining how revenue distribution works, and any numbers are purely to help tether the rest of the information to reality. The 5 main revenue streams for Illuvium at this time are the gameplay loop, the Leviathan arena, the secondary market, IMBUES and enhancements, and LEVIATHARs. Keeping in mind that with every future game, this will essentially double or even triple depending on future gameplay loops. The gameplay loop is the only thing here we will consider compulsory since it facilitates the other 4 actions, and therefore its figures will be higher considering most might not even use the other functions. For example, to sell or battle an alluvial, they first need to capture one. All of these statistics will be averages since there are too many variables to consider. First, a player will need to use the obelisk travel, which they will spend an average $15 every single time they want to explore a location. This money, like with all these actions, will be spent on sILV or Ethereum. In the future, it will purely be Ethereum, so I will use that to go through the remaining player actions. Once at this location, they will need to queue shards. Let's say these are $5 per shard, and on average they need maybe 10. Keeping in mind they might not want to even catch alluvials and choose only to mine resources or harvest fuel, so 10 is probably a nice round number to use. At the end of their run, they will also need to pay to revive alluvials. Let's say that this is $10. The last action in this loop is the option to enhance an alluvial or their player character. Let's say it costs $10 and they do it every second day, so $5 on average. In total, these all culminate into $55 daily worth of Ethereum. When these purchases are made and the ILV treasury is empty, this Ethereum will be used to buy an equivalent amount of ILV directly from the market. This is all pure buying pressure and creates a beautiful circular economy. In this case, let's say Ethereum is $4,000 and ILV is $900. Then 0.01375 Ethereum would be spent by a player to purchase 0.061 ILV per player per day, just from this one simple gameplay loop. I will cover this further at the end, but to put this in perspective, if there were exactly 10 million players that did this gameplay loop, like there are 10 million maximum tokens, then every single token you have staked would have just received 0.061 ILV, or $55. However, the constant here is the USD value, as the price of ILV will change. For reference, League of Legends has 117 million monthly active players. The other 4 revenue streams are all optional, so I have been particularly cautious with these figures. In the Leviathan arena, 2 players wager Ethereum in a battle, and the winner takes a majority of the prize pool. Let's say both players wager $20. In most systems like this, there are a rake. That is how the market makes money. In the event of a poker tournament, all the players pool their money together, but the casino takes a small percentage of the total prize pool to allow the players to use the facilities, which are used to pay all of their casino-related bills, like lights, staff, in the case of Illuvium servers, things like that. In this case, that rake will go to token holders that are staked. Let's say $2 comes from every single battle. Since most players would likely have a close to 50% win rate, given how distribution curves work on a bell, they wouldn't be losing so much Ethereum that they stop participating in the Leviathan arena. I could talk for hours on gambling theory, but the bottom line is this. The only winner in a casino is the casino. However, luckily for Illuvium, that is the ILV token holders. Imagine being the casino. For this example, let's say that a player will battle in the Leviathan arena 4 times a day. Given 2 players must participate, we have to split the total rake in half, giving us $4 per day per player. Next is the secondary market. This facilitates trades between players and takes a percentage of all sales that are distributed among token holders. However, given it is percentage based, as Illuvials become increasingly scarce and worth more Ethereum over time, this revenue stream will steadily increase in value. Axie Infinities averaged at $500 per Axie for a long time and took a 4.25% rake. If we say Illuvium only needs 3% at an average of $300 per Illuvial, then that would be $10 per transaction. Back in September, OpenSea recorded 80,000 transactions daily. That would be $800,000 in revenue distribution every day from the secondary market. We have the least amount of information on IMBUES, but let's say a player does one giant IMBUE every week for around $70, which totals about $10 daily. Lastly, the LEVIATHARs are infinite, and the majority of their revenue will come from the secondary marketplace because of the potential value proposition. They also range between 0.1 and 2.5 Ethereum for the bodies and various components. We could lowball a $200 cost for each player to acquire a single LEVIATHAR, given most probably won't buy one at all, at least in the early stages of the game. Now we get to the fun part. The entire premise of this overall revenue is determined by the amount of active players on the game at any given time. Axie Infinity has set the precedent for the entire play to earn space at this point in time, so I'll continue to reference them. Axie Infinity currently nears 2 million users. However, Illuvium is a certified AAA game, which means it is on the same level as games like Final Fantasy, Valorant, and Call of Duty. They have 3 million, 15 million, and 100 million daily active players, respectively. Even though you could consider this more expensive, given the current battle pass and expensive mobile gaming world we find ourselves in, I have no doubt that players will go in hard on a game like Illuvium. An easy thing to forget is that Illuvium recently hired Riot's former lead marketer. So let's use Valorant's 15 million daily active players to create our figures. In total, using these 5 revenue streams, we have $825 million from the gameplay loop, 60 million from the Leviathan arena, 800,000 from the secondary market, and 150 million from IMBUES, and a one-off cost of $1.5 billion from the LEVIATHARs. Since the LEVIATHARs are a singular purchase, we are going to exclude them from our daily statistics. It is easy to forget that Illuvium will have costs, and this is not included in revenue, since revenue is the overall net profit. There are too many factors to consider to have a concrete number, but some say an MMO has a monthly cost of approximately 3 million, which is $100,000 daily. Once we combine everything and remove the loss, the total revenue distributed to token holders comes out to $1.035 billion daily. If there are 15 million daily active players. Once all is said and done, this is distributed among token holders in the staking pools. If all $10 million were locked up, then each token will receive just over $100 every day per token. However, given weighting and how unlikely it is for the entire supply to be locked, then if there were 5 million tokens locked, it would be $200 daily, and so on. Regardless of the cost of the main gameplay loop, there is a very simple rule of thumb to easily calculate your potential revenue distribution. If the amount of active players is the same as or exceeds the approximately 5 to 7 million tokens staked at any given time, then if you stake 1 token, you will receive a revenue distribution equal to the cost for you to execute the gameplay loop every single day. 1 ILV will literally be a ticket to enjoy the game and all of its NFTs for free every single day. This is because the price of ILV and ETH do not affect this outcome. If the total stake tokens equals the total active players, then your average daily spend in Illuvium will be the same as the revenue gained from staking 1 token. It's a lot to take in.